Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today the crypto is looking a bit green. In 24 hours we can see Bitcoin bounced back above 7,500 from its lows around 6,500. Ethereum went as below as 130 and now it bounced back above 150. Now XRP is only bouncing a bit, it's only 2.85%. Today we will actually cover through technical analysis of different cryptocurrencies like XRP, BTC and others. At the same time we will go through a ton of news article related to XRP, BTC and a general cryptocurrency arena, and then at the same time we'll also look at some of the news which will be affecting the crypto market, say in a wider perspective. This is actually related to traditional banking and the frauds happening there. So first we'll look at the news article related to XRP. This is showing that Finabler and Alipay joined forces to form cross-border remittance partnership. Now we'll go through all the articles related to XRP and Ripple, which is having a positive effect on the XRP community, as when the price bounces even a bit, a lot of positive analysis and news breaks out. So prior to that we'll go through the chart analysis and then move on to the newses. If you guys like the content I provide on a daily basis, do support the channel by subscribing to it and give it a like icon. Press the like button. Sorry for that. Now this is XRP on a 4-hour chart, and as you can see it is bouncing off from its support area. Now the upward trend line is a bit above, as you know, the trend is moving something like this. So if the price is to move up high, then it may have overhead resistance around 0.29, 0.3 or sometimes a bit below, say in this area 0.28. So if you are a short-term trader looking into XRP for a buying opportunity, then this should be one of your buying area. As you can see previously, when it bounced off here it went up slowly. Then the same happened again. Now we are at the bottom again, so the target should be somewhere here. Now that's in a 4-hour time frame, and if you zoom out a bit and look the chart of XRP in a daily time frame, what you can see is this tool, and I'll actually remove one of them. Now as you can see that this is a small time frame trend which we plotted in that, and if we plot a longer time frame trend in this, we can see that the price is actually bouncing off from this range. So that range has been happening from a long time. We broke out above that, now we are bouncing off from that. So if we look at it in a perspective, like if we connect all the tops, say from this point and extend it to the top, we can see it's kind of moving like a standard deviation from this resistance. It's moving parallelly. So if we are able to break above there, then it is a positive news. But we'll look at what is happening right now in 1-hour chart. Now this is 1-hour chart, and we can see that the price is actually above the 20, 50 and 100-day moving average, and currently the 200-day moving average, which is in yellow, is acting as a resistance in 1-hour chart. But what is to look at in the 1-hour chart is that we made a bull flag or a bull channel. Then we broke above that. Now that's actually a potential positive sign. If you are looking for a buy, usually say we are plotting this in this form, say this is our channel here, this is our flag, and then if you are looking to buy, usually we advocate to buy after the breakout or the retest. Now most of the time the retest won't come back below this area, it may consolidate a bit in this area and move up high. So if you are a short-term trader looking into a buy, or even a long-term trader looking to reduce your dollar cost, averaging your positions to reduce your average range of XRP, then you can do that, because anyway the price is gonna bounce from here. But the area where you should be cautious is around 0.28 to 0.3, because when the price is reaching this area, you have to be cautious. If the price is not being able to break above this, then yeah, the next target will be below this. Unless we come out of this pattern, we will remain in this, right? So the support and the resistance has to be eyed on clearly. Now that's for XRP in price fluctuations. Now we'll look at news related to XRP. This is an article, as we talked previously, which is showing positive momentum. Now you can see that. So what does this mean, and what does it mean for Ripple? Now Finabla has created the omni-channel network, which consists of its global brands: Express Money, TravelX, Unimoney, UAE Exchange. Now UAE Exchange is one of a big platform. A lot of Indians in UAE is using the platform to send money back to their home country. Now the same is used by other corridors too. But what you have to understand is, when they use UAE Exchange, there is not only Indians in that one nation, UAE. There is a lot of people from Philippines, Pakistan, a lot of guys who are working there. Now when they actually connect with Alipay, that's too big, because this is targeting the biggest corridors. Like, a lot of remittance is happening towards India, China, and other emerging markets. So you can see here, Finabla is live on RippleNet via UAE Exchange and Unimoney. And Financial, formerly known as Alipay, has joined Finabla to benefit from seamless access of remittance. So most of the news here is actually connecting these financial institutions with Ripple, the company. And yes, in future they will be using the on-demand liquidity, which is XRP. Now this is a gigantic news because this is one of the biggest banks in India, private banks in India, HDFC, who is actually looking into Ripple, the technology of Ripple. Now they are a customer for Ripple, so obviously if there is a recession or a depression in the coming months or years, they will need something to move the liquidity, right? They all need a support in that. So this is a big news. See, HDFC is an Indian bank and financial service company, headquarters in Mumbai. Now, on an interview, J Kim show that was filmed during Swell and was released on November 25th, Marcus Treacher, SVP of Customer Success at Ripple, revealed a few Ripple's customers, and one of them is HDFC in India. The others are like QN Qatar National Bank in Qatar, Saudi British Bank in Saudi Arabia, NCB Saudi Arabia, Al Raji Bank. So these are others who are there. Now Ripple has experienced tremendous growth in India, having signed Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Yes Bank, Federal Bank, and now HDFC. So when you can say they are signing the partnership, now what happens in the background is like other banking institutions will also be working with Ripple. Because if we look back at after the Swell, they announced that they have around 600 institutions working with them, meaning they told they announced 300, but they told half of them is still unannounced. So maybe that's a lot of Indian banks in that. Now Ripple continues expanding with new companies adopting XRP's on-demand liquidity. Now that's another positive news. We see that because ODL or XRP is the key for Ripple as a company, because they are the biggest holder of XRP. Few weeks ago, Coinspace reported that XRP liquidity increased humongously, right, to 200 million daily. That means that Ripple wants XRP liquidity to continue to grow and reach massive amount of 2 trillion. They are aiming for a big market, right? The remittance is actually too big, but at present I think they are targeting at least 2 trillion, because we feel like bit by bit we are going to be able to take that 10 trillion down to 9 trillion to 8 trillion. This is a journey that will take many years, but we are incredibly enthused by the progress we made in the relatively short amount of time. Yes, this is a new company. It's not been that long time they are working with the banks, and banks takes a lot of time because they are a regulated financial institution, traditional brick and mortar system, so they need a lot of time to adopt. XRP friendly Japanese giant SBI goes STO, invest in Securitize. So now, as we know that SBI is a great fan of Ripple the company and XRP as a digital asset, so now they are pushing the usage of this asset. Now here it states that in October that SBI VC Trade, the group's cryptocurrency exchange arm, and its SBI Crypto Investment and Mining division are both making money from the company. The exchange business has posted pre-tax profit of $30 million. That's huge amount, right? Now Kitao is also known for praising Ripple XRP, or stating that XRP is the most practical and usable token around, because there are a lot of tokens around and we don't know which is the best, right? So if you are from XRP community, you already know which is the best. If you're someone who are listening to this from a different perspective, say you're a BTC guy or a Ether guy, do consider reading what is XRP and how it works and why it is having a lot of partnerships from regulated financial institutions and governments. It's working with central banks, how it is being able to do that. If you look at the asset and what its capability is, then you will understand why the XRP community members are pushing it so high, because others call us, the XRP community members, as so wrong, being religious for XRP. Now, Ripple Lab declares war on legacy cross-border banking practice. Now, this one is actually connected to the other article a bit. Say, here Brad Garlinghouse explained cross-border financial transactions tend to be very slow and very expensive. Now, one of the reasons it is very expensive is the banks need to have corresponding banking system, the Nostro, Vostro accounts, and keep their money there. Now, when they have dormant capital sitting around in different nations, they have a fee for that, right? They have a lot of amount to pay for that. So they actually don't pay it themselves, right? They make their end customers to pay that. So they transfer those costs to the end customers. Now, this actually reduces the friction, like using XRP reduces the friction. Now they are using Xcurrent, and yeah, in future they will be for sure using XRP or on-demand liquidity. Now, as they rebranded it as on-demand liquidity, now for traditional financial institutions, when they look at it, okay, we are using an on-demand liquidity instead of pre-funding our accounts, so that feels a bit positive for them. Now, this is another article showing, in China's footsteps, Indian government announces support for wide adoption of blockchain technology. Now, when we show you the headline, what you also have to understand is the country is currently against cryptocurrencies, private cryptocurrencies, whereas it's high on blockchain, similar to that of China. India supports follows similar blockchain remarks made last month by China's president, who's pushing his country to become the world leader in emerging industry. Now, when they say that they are looking to be a world leader in the emerging industry by blocking, or trying to hammer the cryptocurrencies and institutions who are working for the blockchain industry for using cryptocurrencies, that is not a positive sign, right? Most of the tokens here are mined, and you need miners, mining community, and the token itself to reward those miners to keep the security as it is or increase that, right? You need that stability in that. So we'll have to see what Indian government come out and showcases. Now, this is from Ripple itself. It shows the global payments that finally work, because now it's like of taunting the traditional financial system, right? The cross-border payments which were there from last 50 years and still not upgraded to the requirement of the clients. See, I'm a guy who's working outside my home country, which is India, and I send back money to my home. If I'm using that from a traditional bank, they take me around 6 to 8% as fees. Then I'm not sure how much will be reaching to my home account, because there is a conversion cost, right? If I'm sending South Korean won to Indian rupees, they convert it first to USD, then to Indian rupees. So that takes a lot of amount. Say I'm sending $1,000 to my home country, it's around $100 which I'm paying in both fees and transaction cost. So when I'm using a Ripple partner, which is SendB from South Korea, that reduces to $2.5. It's actually below that. It's 2,500 won, so that's below $2.5. So that's the power of this technology. Now, this one is showing, as we talked previously, Ripple is pushing for 2 trillion XRP liquidity in the corresponding banking system. Now, this is actually positive, so positive news that the target area for XRP is so big. Now, 2 trillion is actually only 20% of what is currently there. Say the 10 trillion market, we are only aiming for 2 now. So if it is a tipping point, say the traditional banks will actually come in, it will be like opening of a floodgate. Now this is related to TransferGo, showing British remittance firm looked adopt XRP based product from Ripple. Why? Because they have a lot of competition and they want to come up on top. So for that, to provide enjoyable, reliable, instant and lower cost transaction, they are looking to use digital asset XRP to source liquidity, which can do so in seconds, freeing up the capital and guaranteeing the most competitive rates available today. Because customers are not fools, right? They will be looking at how much they are paying for what. Now this is an analysis from FX Street showing the XRP USD chart in 1 hour. This is showing that we had a trend line here, we broke up above that, now we retested that area and bouncing up from there. Now we are making a new trend line here, so if we continue to bounce from this one more time, we can ensure that that's a new trend forming. Now this is another one from the same provider showing Ripple hourly price in a different perspective. Now if the other guy actually drew a line like this, connected this and showcased that the price went above that, retested that area and moving up high. But if we are using horizontal support or resistance area, we had a support here and a previous support here which is turned to a resistance by this drop. Now we are retesting that area and it looks like currently we are at that particular range. So if we manage to break above this, then we are in this trading range, which is a positive news considering the previous one. Say if we are going above this, then yes, we are making a new trend here coming within this trading range. This is showing that XRP primed for gains until this changes. If we don't make a new low and hold the current support levels, then it is actually a good news for XRP, showing this is the bottom which we made. Now we went up, we formed a bit of channel in the support, we broke above that. Now yes, now we have an overhead resistance of 200-day moving average in 1 hour chart. So if we correct a bit, then yes, this can be a positive area, say 0.22, and then bounce back above that resistance. Now we already talked about this, so I'm skipping about that. Now this is from XRP BTC. Now the charts of XRP and BTC is say XRP BTC is showing you a rounded bottom here and another rounded bottom. So combining that, we can call that a cup and handle pattern coming up. So if it is completing till here, then that is a confirmation of cup and handle, and this is your trend line. So in that aspect, if you connect this area, that you can plot that to your top, saying that that is your target area, which is around say 5,000 here for XRP BTC. Now Ripple transfers 500 million XRP from its escrow wallet, and they're showing that the price dropped despite new partnerships. The community members are holding that. Now whenever there is a transaction like this, it is actually highlighted by the whale alert. So most of you guys who are familiar with the post from the whale alert have already seen that. Now there's a price analysis from a different perspective showing say the XRP bouncing on a daily. Now when we see that, we can understand that the price is making another bottom here. So if we connect it in the daily as we talked in the initial stage, say we can see that it's kind of a new bottom there. It's not actually a triple bottom, because previously we thought it would be bouncing up from here, which will be giving us a triple bottom pattern. But no, as we discussed now, I'll more or less agree with this particular article. Now this is showing that the Bitcoin bounces from upper 6,000 region but finds resistance around 7,400, 7,500. Now yes, the price actually bounced. Now it need a bit of a breather to move high, but if you look at that in a negative idea, then you can say that the price actually came down a lot. It needs a breather before it goes back even low. But that's just speculation, right? Now when you look at the charts, you can understand that this is the top area, this is the bottom area. We actually discussed this detailed in our previous video, yesterday's video, and we talked about the price being bounced from this area. Now if the price is actually bouncing from this particular area, then the upper target is somewhere here, right? 8,500. So currently we are only around 7,500. If you are a short-term trader, then yeah, you can trade the range, buy at support, sell at resistance, or you can take 75% around here. not waiting until the price reach 8,500, because you can see most of the time, yes, it reaches that, but sometime it don't. So being in the safe side, you can take it up around 75 to 80%. You can take out the profit. Now, next article shows that BTC shoots above 7,500, lifting the other altcoins as well. Now, the late November rally, will it remain like that? Will it move above that? Will we get a continuation? That's a question, right? So if we get a continuation, then the highs should be looking at the previous high of this 2019 rally. If we are able to make higher highs from here, then yes, that may be the end of correction for this particular move, and we will be moving high. Because as we know, if we zoom out in the BTC chart, we understand that all the time we have a pump like this, then yes, we have a little bit of correction, then we move up high. Because in order to see that, now this is a log chart of BTC in daily. If we move a bit back and look at it on a weekly chart, we can see this. Yeah, that happened previously. We made the bottom, we went up high, now we corrected ourselves, then we are moving back above. Now, when people like, Peter Schiff was talking, no, the price is actually moving down, the price is gonna crash. He was actually saying the same even when the price was around 3,000. He's saying the same when the price reached 5,000, then 10,000, then around 14,000. So now when the price corrected a bit, he's so happy to state, oh, it's going down. Now, there are guys like that who don't understand anything about this. Now, this is related to Deutsche Bank, an Australian bank, and then we'll actually look at another article related to Deutsche Bank. It is showing that there is a lot going on in that community. See, this is a tweet showing global payments that finally works, which we actually covered already. Then we will look at another tweet from Jack the Rippler, and then Ian Northing on Twitter. So prior to that, we will actually go back and look at this one, which is Australia's oldest bank, showing massive money laundering. Now, that's not Bitcoin, right? When these banks and institutions are talking to us, they actually talk like, it's only the cryptocurrencies used for money laundering purpose. It's not the traditional banking, it's not the fiat currencies. Now, that's the problem with them, right? They don't understand what is happening there, because the traditional banks itself are doing a lot of scams. Now, this one is which I want to connect you with. Say, senior ex-Deutsche Bank executive linked to millions in Donald Trump loans commits suicide. Now, there are issues which can be solved if they use the technology, right? They have a new technology coming up. If they use that, that's superb. Now, this is another tweet from Jack the Rippler showing that MoneyGram strengthens partnership with Gcash in Philippines. Now, when we look at the global technology, we understand that MoneyGram, one side Alipay, the other side Gcash, they are looking at the corridors like India, Pakistan, Philippines. These are the countries which have a lot of expatriates working in other country and sending money back to them. So the remittance corridor is like these countries mainly, as Ripple recently opened corridors like dollar to INR, dollar to euro, because this is a big corridor. Now, as we discussed, we can see that the price are a bit in green, but yeah, we are not sure whether it will hold here. But if it does, then we can see a bounce back to the previous trading range, say around 0.3 for XRP, 8,500 for Bitcoin, 180 for Ethereum. If you guys like the content I provide on a daily basis, do support the channel, give a subscribe, and if you like the video, please do like the video. I'll meet you guys on my next one. See you tomorrow.